4 women, dubbed the John Lewis Gang, have been jailed after targeting a string of outlets during a shoplifting spree which saw them steal more than £9,000. Antonella Busiok, 28, and Georgetta Nikula, 27, and Nakrissa Konstanin, 30, as well as Narkiska Dragskin, who was 27, raided the John Lewis outlets in Norwich, Peterborough and Ipswich over a few days in February and March 2020. The group, who were Romanian but have addresses in Leicester, went to the shops armed with scissors, which they then cut the security tags from the items before hiding the stolen items in bags. On 2 occasions, they aroused the suspicion of staff, but managed to escape. They were finally caught while stealing from the Norwich store. Norwich Crown Court heard the department store lost £9,500 worth of goods stolen by the gang, including Apple products, electrical items and perfumes. Benedict Pears, prosecuting, said, "In the first set of thefts, the gang targeted 2 separate branches of John Lewis on the same day, February 1st, 2020, striking first at the Norwich branch before heading to the Peterborough store later that afternoon. 8 days later, there was a further targeting of the Peterborough branch by 2 of the defendants, Miss Nikula and Miss Buskia, who entered the store with very large bags. When they left the store, they set off the alarms, having stolen electrical items, and were followed by security staff, but they escaped." Mr. Pearce said about 20 days later, the gang went to the Ipswich branch and took the Apple goods worth around £2,000. This time, however, staff became suspicious that the pair had left the store and fled, although the goods were recovered. Then, on March 1st, the gang went to the audio department at the Peterborough John Lewis store and stole £1,882 worth of Apple devices, after again cutting tags and putting the items into large bags. Later the same day, the gang turned up at the Norwich branch where they took the fragrances. This time the gang were detained outside the store and arrested. All 4 defendants appeared at the Crown Court, having to be sentenced after admitting theft offences. Judge Catherine Moore told the defendants they had been financially motivated offending. Miss Buskiok was sentenced to 14 months, Miss Constantine for 8 months, Miss Dragsin for 10 months, and Miss Nikula for 12 months. Jailing each of them, Judge Moore said, "If you persist in this type of offending, the sentences will only become longer." Catherine Higgs, mitigating for Miss Buskiok and Miss Constantine, said it was clear that there was planning involved, but not significant planning. Andrew Hill, mitigating for Miss Dragsin, said she had a difficult, chaotic lifestyle and has 4 children, with a 5th due later this year. Samrat Sengupta, representing Miss Nikula, said she was remorseful and terribly sorry and knows this lifestyle will lead to extreme chaos. Investigating officer PC William Watkins said, "This was a well-organised criminal operation targeting premises across East Anglia. Securing these convictions required dedicated teamwork from officers over Norfolk, Suffolk and Cambridgeshire constabularies. The sentence is a fantastic result and should be a warning to others that this kind of activity will not be tolerated." Sentencing the John Lewis gang comes just a year after another group, also from Romania, were jailed for shoplifting sprees in the city. That gang, Iona Ranacanu, Bianca Ranacanu and Luisa Ranacanu, together with a teen who cannot be named, were from the same family and had been to Norwich on an away day shoplifting exercise. They stole champagne and makeup totaling £9,421 from 3 stores. They took a £340 bottle of champagne from Majestic Wines before taking more than £3,000 worth of cosmetic from Boots and almost £6,000 worth of makeup from the House of Fraser in Chantry Place. Iona, then 57, of Ilford, was jailed for 24 months. Bianca, who was 21, of London, was handed an 18-month and 2-week sentence. Louisa, who was 18, from Ilford, was given a 14-month sentence, suspended for 18 months, and ordered to complete up to a 30 days of rehabilitation activity requirement. And the teenager was given a 12-month referral order and ordered to pay £50 compensation to Majestic Wines and £400 to Boots. Police haven't found a dog that mauled a girl 11 as the owner is jailed. A passing taxi driver broke the girl free from the dog's grip. The man has been jailed for 14 months after his dog savaged an 11-year-old girl as she walked to school in East London. Sadiq Ali, who was 43, was identified after a public appeal from detectives, but a Scotland Yard spokesman admitted his 2 dogs have still not been found. The 11-year-old girl was attacked as she walked along Ben Jonson Road, Stepney Green, about 8:30 AM on the 28th of September. As she and Mr. Ali crossed paths, one of the dogs lunged at her and bit her several times on the hand and arm. A passing taxi driver broke the girl free from the dog's grip, and Mr. Ali left the area before the police arrived. The girl was rushed to hospital, where she was kept in for several days to receive treatment. Police launched a public appeal, and after 12 days, on December the 22nd, Mr. Ali was arrested at his home. He was subsequently charged with being in control of a dangerous dog who was out of control. Detective Inspector Luke Hampton of the Met's Central East Command said, Mr. Ali had no control over the animal that attacked the child, and even left the scene knowing that she had been seriously injured. I hope that today's sentence brings the child and her family a measure of comfort following what has been a deeply traumatic incident. Mr. Ali of Ackroyd Drive, Tower Hamlets, appeared at Snarebrook Crown Court on Friday, May the 12th, where he was sentenced to 14 months imprisonment for being in charge of a dog dangerously out of control, causing injury to a person contrary to the Section 3 of Dangerous Dogs Act. He was also banned from keeping a dog for 10 years and ordered to pay a victim surcharge of £187. Mark Broccoli, who was 54, of John Boggart Close, Liverpool, made £237,000 by selling subscriptions that enabled the illegal streaming of content hosted by BT Sport, including Premier League, UEFA Champions League, Europa League football matches, through a service called Infinity Streams. Mr. Broccoli was found guilty of supplying articles for use in fraud and for the fraudulent evasion of income tax at a trial in his absence at Liverpool Crown Court on the 30th of March 2023. After he failed to attend court, he was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment at the same court on the 5th of May 2023. Officers from the Police Intellectual Property Crime Unit (PIPCU) at the City of London Police believed that Mr. Broccoli travelled to France with his dog to avoid prosecution, but his current whereabouts is unknown. Mr. Broccoli will serve his prison sentence once he has been arrested. Detective Constable Geoffrey Holbrook from the Police Intellectual Property Crime Unit at the City of London Police said, Mr. Broccoli made tens of thousands of pounds from an illegal activity and used the money to fund his lifestyle. Despite being interviewed by PIPCU officers and knowing that his actions were against the law, he continued to sell IPTV subscriptions and then left the country in an attempt to avoid the consequences of his action. We are now appealing for information on Mr. Broccoli's whereabouts and ask anyone who may be able to help to contact the City of London Police. The PIPCU launched an investigation in November 2018 after BT reported that a Twitter account using the handle @AffinityIPTV was advertising the sale of a premium film, television and sports content to its followers. Subscribers could purchase a month-long subscription to Affinity IPTV for £15. The unit identified that Mr. Broccoli had made 5,221 sales, with a total value of £237,058 from the 24th of October 2014 to the 8th of May 2019. Of these, 1,408 sales worth over £50,000 made a clear reference to IPTV services, but officers from the PIPCU believe that the remaining payments were also related to the sale of these services. Mr. Broccoli has not declared any income to HM Revenue Customs since December 2018. The PIPCU officers executed a search warrant at Mr. Broccoli's home address on the 24th of July 2019 and seized a laptop and a mobile phone, which further linked Mr. Broccoli to the Affinity IPTV Twitter account. They also seized £1,200 in cash. During his police interview, Mr. Broccoli answered no comment to all questions. He received 10 further payments in relation to the supply of IPTV services, worth a total of £278 following the interview.